And then there was a report out that they had an emergency meeting Saturday night. And apparently, one report coming out of that meeting at the White House is that Trump wanted to use the nuclear codes, and General Dan Kane stood up and said no. He invoked his privilege and the military, so to speak. It was apparently quite a blow up. There are pictures of Kane coming out of that meeting and around. So, this very, very important.
In case you haven't heard, because it was so loud, I just now thought about it. I think I got another version of it, Slovakia, because that was kind of loud. You got to hear what this man said. I don't know if did he pop up in this? Hold on for a second. All right, here's a nice, cleaner version.
They've got some problems. They got to try to deal with it. And then there was a report out that they had an emergency meeting Saturday night. And apparently, well, one report coming out of that meeting at the White House is that Trump wanted to use the nuclear codes, and General Dan Kane stood up and said no. He invoked his privilege as the head of the military, so to speak. It was apparently quite a blow up. There are pictures of Kane coming out of that meeting with his head down to the ground. So, there's some very, very bizarre things going on in D.C.
Well, on Saturday night, excuse me, Larry.
So you heard it clearly, what was said and what was done, and showing you that this man's a madman. That's how they'll say it in whatchamacallit. That's how Benjamin would say he was a madman. So he even thought about the nuclear option. Might add, he said this war was won. All right, he said this war was won long ago. According to him, the war was won that same day they attacked. So why would you go to the extreme level of doing that? He's a madman. He's losing his mind. And the way they designed everything, he couldn't even do that on his own. Now, if they're gonna do they could do a pocket nuke, all right. But if he takes it to that level, in reality, like if it say they like that's what word in the grapevine is that the hats that wear the small hats. Sorry, the rats that wear the small hats. They want to do that option of a pocket nuke. Now, if they go that route, this thing is about to go into another level, a level that has never been seen before. Because throughout history, it was only one country who was stupid enough to do something like this. And when I mean it's stupid, it was stupid. Why? Because it shows you the level that these people are willing to go. Revelation 13:13, which is going to leave them wide open. This is why Babylon the Great was destined to be destroyed. The uttermost part of the earth was created to be desolate. All right? It says, Revelation 13:13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And that was Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All right? They literally use an atomic warfare on another nation, sovereign nation. Even after that said nation automatically had surrendered. But was it Eisenhower? I can't remember right now. The president at the time still didn't give a damn because he wanted to make an imprint. With him not knowing, he was fulfilling prophecy. So yes, the nations were in shock. Yes, the nations were in fear. But that was later to push the nations to do this. Joel 3 and 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up thy mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Which, oh, another thing, that's talking about farm equipment to help with farming. So take that farming equipment and put it into military. They said GM, General Motors, and Ford and all that good stuff was told by the military to stop production of personal craft, which is cars, trucks, and so forth, and help build a military industry, which was a clear sign because how did America became so popular and so powerful? At the time, those was it factories and so forth that was building cars, building railroads and so forth. It was they moved into the military industry, and that's how it kind of took itself out of the boom. So this is exactly the same thing that's happening right now. It says, "Let the weak say I am strong." So now the other nations that were weak, that did not have this ability, have this same ability, and now they're watching. All right, the cost of having this ability because under Trump, North Korea got North Korea got a nuke, and throughout that whole campaign, that North Korea got the nuke. Before they got the nuke, there was a great threat. They was willing to go to war, but when they got it, America never went even think about going over there because they no longer were weak. They was right. They was right in the midst, sitting in the tables. They're not sitting at the kiddie table. They sitting with the grown-ups. So when America sees that you have that ability, they're not gonna fuck with you. If Gaddafi did not, um, if he had gotten it, he would still be alive. If certain nations had gotten that, then they would be equally sitting in the table in the conversation. But since many of nations don't have it, they look down upon them and you start bullying them. So if you go that route, oh my goodness, the repercussions, the fallback, it will be beyond serious. All right. Now that the superpowers we look at are like, oh shit, y'all willing to do this again? I did it in the past, but you're gonna do this again. Show you that this is places the aggressor. All right. America is the aggressor. America is the bully. America only interest that America have shown was the interest for that gutter rat state, not even his own citizens. So shit's about to go down heavy, man. All right, and America's destiny, Babylon's destiny, is to be utterly destroyed. All right, Isaiah 13. It says 13 and 19. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency. So Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, which is America. All right. The Chaldees where the witches and warlock dwelt in Babylon. So the modern day Chaldees is here in America. All right. And it's because this is the highest level of witchcraft is being broadcast right now. Everything I just said is part of the witchcraft. that information coming out that he wanted to do that, and that's another factor too. He eliminated anybody that rejected or opposed him. You know, like critical thinking. Yeah, you may be the top guy. Sometimes you need to be, you know, your underling have to kind of correct you because somebody's head could be very powerful. So he's not taking it. He's not taking advice. He's just telling them what it is. But even if he did wanted to use that, there's certain protocols that needs to be done, and it goes by a laundry list of things to approve, because that's the ultimate end game. If that's done, then this is going to be horrible. It would be horrible if they do that to another nation today, 2026. If America dropped a nuke or atomic bomb on another nation, what do you think Russia and China is going to think? Especially if that's their ally. Oh, they're going to retaliate. And once they retaliate, all hell's going to break loose. All right. This guy, he has to. Well, for us, he could stay, but for the rest of the world, they need to get him out of there. It says, "Shall be as once when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah." And how was Sodom and Gomorrah was taken out? By fire and brimstone. It's going to get that serious. It says, "And it shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch their tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there." Why? Because this place is going to be the biggest desert on the planet Earth. All right, that's the destiny of America. America was, because there was scripture says the uttermost part of the earth is known as the uttermost part of the earth for a good reason, because it's going to be desolate. If they're showing it, how can country, this country alone, what has like 8% of the world's population and consume 25% of it? It would not be missed. All right, 5 square. What do they do? 3 square meals a day. Most people eat maybe one. If they're fortunate, they might eat two a day. And the majority of people over here would throw food out like it's nothing. This place would not be missed. If anything happened, when this place gets taken out, this place would not be missed. All right. When you read Revelations, the 18th chapter tells you. Let me get that real quick. Revelations 18 and 15 to the point. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off. Hold on, I'm having issues. Lakia. Read that again. Revelation 18 and 15. The merchants of these things which were made rich. Oh, might I add, they said that no tankers are coming in America. So, like it was in 2020 or 18, I can't remember. They're going to be eating up the reserves. Because nobody wants to do no trades with this place. When he sat there, told everybody, "Oh, we got rich over the tariffs." So think about the language that's being said. If they decide to attack, nobody's gonna want to do business with this place because they're gonna look at it like, yeah, this place is gonna be destroyed, right? It says by her, which were made rich by her, afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and howling, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city, which was clothed in fine linen, and in purple, and scarlet, and decked with gold, and precious stones, and pearls. For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors, as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And why? Because they made so much goddamn money. All right. This is the most profitable place on the planet Earth. People will buy the most foolish things and make other people rich. They're not gonna be concerned about the people over here. Scripture does say they're gonna try to roughly paraphrase it, but like contact this place. They won't be able to do that. And it says, and cried when they saw smoke. I'm sorry, I read that right. And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping, wailing, saying, Alas, alas, the great city wherein we were made rich, all that had ships in the sea by the reason of her, costly, but in 1 hour is she made desolate. So yeah, in one fatal swoop, is gonna be this place is gonna be made unto the greatest desert on the planet Earth. And why? We ended off on here. Well, I couldn't. Well, it's here too. So Revelation 18 and 18 and 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye may not be partakers of her sins, that ye shall receive not of her plagues. So the coming out of is going to be literally at this moment. The Lord's physically going to take us out. But before, we have to be mentally disconnected to this world. It says, For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High remembered her iniquities, and reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the greatest fear of these elites, especially these Edomites, the lower end, because they know the hands is going to be the hands are going to be put on them. All right, their greatest fear is payback. That's their fear. All right, but that payback, according to Habakkuk 2 and gotta go on. I don't know. It says because thou has spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, sorry, because of man's blood and for the violence of the land of the cities of the city and all that dwell therein. Woe to him that covenants the evil covenants to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil. So their greatest fear is people realizing, oh, you did this to us, and getting their hands on them. All right. So this place is destined to be destroyed. Like it says, I skipped something. No. Yeah, well, I got the point. All right. So for all the evil that's been done, they're gonna have to pay for it. All right, and that's just a worldwide scale. But the focal point that the Lord really gonna have them pay for is what they done to His true people. That's the most important thing. With that being said, shalom to the elect and the nations. Shalom. Better feel sleepy.